Hello and welcome back to Dreamhack Winter 2011. We just saw a very swift game between Elfi and HerO, where HerO just did a very cool, ultra-fast Warp Prism play, and Elfi, trying to get a little bit cute with his defense, just couldn't handle a huge number of units.
Yep, indeed not. I really find it ironic that HerO going 4-gate against a player who's so, I mean, he's well known for 4-gate, at least inside the European circles. But you know, it worked out for him very, very nicely. Elfi didn't have really the gateways he needed, and then when he lost that pylon, there was just no chance of him defending against the continued warp-in pressure from Liquid HerO.
So let's go ahead and hop into the game. It looks like the map choice ended up being Shakura's Plateau.
Yes, indeed.
For Elfi. So I think this is a map where he does indeed like his cool early aggression, where he spends so many chrono boosts on that initial gateway. In the bottom right-hand corner, kind of a recent popular Protoss in Europe. Some recent cool success. Virus's Elfi.
Yes, yes. Actually, clarification, he is in fact on Team Acer. I kind of thought that might have been the case in the last game, and I wasn't sure, but somebody messaged me and confirmed that that is the case. Elfi's opponent in this game, on this map, Shakura's Plateau, is the blue Protoss player up here in the top left, Liquid HerO.
HerO just chrono boosting away quite happily to get his economy up and running. We do see that one probe from Elfi crossing from one side of the map to the other, and usually timed planting down with the assimilators. Let's talk a little bit about some of the late game, or excuse me, what I would describe as once they get anything beyond 4-gating, or anything beyond the usual sort of early aggression, that's when the deviations kind of begin. The only big deviations early on are, of course, when you get your second gas geyser. Elfi has done some really cool stuff with a single Colossus push. And, you know, generally the Colossus pushing used to be like 2-3 Colossus off one base. It's sort of waned in popularity since the Immortals become so good.
Right.
Or even going some sort of Immortal expand. On this map, I personally am a fan of any low unit count high expand early on. There's just so many small, narrow entryways at the front of your base.
Yeah, a lot of Protoss players have started just expanding, and frankly, they've started expanding at weird times, sometimes completely blindly. But it just seems like they've figured out ways to deal with things, like you were describing, like that 2 Colossus push that that was so good at punishing fast expands, however many months ago. But also, like you said, the new Immortal is much, much better. If you get 2 of those out, they take down Colossi so incredibly fast.
Well, looks like there's the first Stalker started. You see Elfi again spending it on that Cybernetics core. It looks like he's veering away from his early chrono boost on the Stalkers. It was always very cool to see him do something where he would chrono boost out 2 Stalkers very quickly. He wouldn't really have much money to do anything too crazy, but those first 3 units could end up doing massive damage.
Yes, of course. In the base of Elfi, we see he's gone up to 2 gases already. Warp gate about halfway done. Will he mine from that second gas immediately? Yes, he does.
Ooh, canceled Geyser and Elfi with the 4-gate.
Oh, Elfi. This is what he's kind of known for here in Europe, and so HerO a bit in the dark on this. Doesn't see the canceled gas. And, you know, is he going to manage to figure it out? We do see 3 gates in HerO's base. So that's the beginnings of a defense against this. But he's got to figure out what's coming. He's got to get an extra gateway down or some kind of additional tech.
Yeah. I mean, this sort of 3-gate play, it's a very good typical defensive play. We do see that 1 sentry popping up, and this is going to be all that stands between HerO and certain doom. Looks like, oh, Elfi is doing classic, typical 4-gate fashion, stopping at 20 probes. He is trying to plant these proxy pylons down. He has secured the center of the map, and now HerO is going to be up against the wall. So if HerO can withstand it, the fact that he is still producing probes is going to be such a huge boon to him.
Yes, indeed. We see Elfi pooling up a little bit of money. He's going to throw down another pylon so he can warp in on the high ground in that natural. And then after this warp in, I think he's probably going to try to throw down a couple more pylons near the main base. And we see him already queuing up that one at the bottom of the ramp. And, you know, HerO's like, oh, dear, this looks like 4-gate.
And he's got to do a very fast force field. Very nice right there. Has to reposition. Oh, no, can't get too far away. He's getting too far away. He needs to throw another force field. Oh my God, that was so close. Oh gosh, my poor heart. And it looks like Liquid HerO, oh, doing a very clever play. He's going to respond by 4-gating. But look at his probe count up to 25. And Elfi is spending so much money desperately trying to warp in more onto the low ground. And HerO not only going to defend this, but I think going to have a very easy follow-up win.
Yeah, I guess if there's anything going Elfi's way, it's the fact that he's forced this many sentries. That's a lot of gas tied up in sentries and not other tech. But, you know, at the same time, Elfi, he 4-gated, so his tech isn't any better advanced than HerO's. Twilight Council going to go down for HerO. Elfi going to opt for a Robo. So we're going to see probably Blink against Robo and then Blink.
And this is such an awkward spot to be in as any Protoss player, where you have committed extremely heavily to defense and now you're just trying to do some other tech. It becomes this very sort of jagged, uncomfortable feeling play. Oh god, HerO tossing away yet another Stalker. Looks like still a lot of sentries in the total retreat. Where did that other Stalker end up running to for
running
HerO?
All the way over to the main base of Elfi. He wants to get some sort of a scout in there. That is kind of a sacrificial Stalker. Elfi, I don't think he knows that HerO has thrown down the expansion just yet, and he's going to warp in a couple of Stalkers back in his main base. HerO not even shooting with this Stalker, just getting as much of a scout as he can. Cute little micro there. But yeah, this Stalker's dead.
Well, that ended up falling down in that unit's loss tab. We see quite a lot lost for HerO. Keep in mind that is 3 Stalkers that died uncontested. Now HerO beginning to get up some Stalkers. Has that 4th gateway down. Not going to do any other tech path with the Twilight Council. Of course, if you are in Liquid HerO's shoes, you're going to be aware that you saw this Twilight Council. There could be some kind of blink play coming up, or there could be DTs, so HerO does have a good bit that he needs to be concerned about.
Yep, blink coming from both of these players. 3 Stalkers warped in just now for HerO. Elfi still has the larger army, but oh, actually he does go ahead and throw down a Nexus of his own. So this is going to be, this is kind of close. HerO might lose another Stalker here. He does have enough sentries, and Elfi is not going to want to run up that ramp.
Yeah, oh, this could be certain doom for Elfi. He has a lot of Stalkers, and there are a lot of sentries here. And now Blink is done for HerO. He can begin to pick away at these Stalkers.
No.
Getting a few more, and look at that Blink. That is going to be time to run. And he can easily blink to the other side to pick it off. Oh, no. Liquid HerO missing the free Stalker. A little bit of a misstep there.
Killing a Stalker, not losing anything. That was a perfect blink by HerO. Of course, if you blink a Stalker right before the little tracers hit it, the damage goes away. You don't take any damage. That's very important.
Pops right out of range. The bullet gets lost. They are not all heat-seeking bullets in StarCraft 2.
Indeed not. HerO's army is really starting to look terrifying, and Elfi's hit a bit of a supply block here, and he's just now starting a pylon. 58 of 58 supply, and Elfi doesn't have any sentries. He can't force field this ramp.
Oh no, and with 1 Guardian Shield, HerO's going to be taking almost no damage. Oh no, and it looks like Elfi finishing up Blink of his own. HerO has to wait for those force fields to pop on down. Guardian Shields so huge in these Stalker versus Stalker fights.
Yeah, absolutely they are. Elfi has a few more Stalkers, but HerO's got the 5 sentries and a couple Zealots. Some more force fields going down. Oh, Elfi needs to blink back, and he does. And, you know, supplies still very close here. 12 Stalkers for Elfi, 10 Stalkers for HerO, and Elfi finally starting to add in a couple of sentries. So I think this game is going to stabilize day 9, but not before HerO has established a pretty healthy probe lead, 38 to 32.
God, HerO is being so aggressive at this point in time. He knows we can continue to put the pressure onto Elfi, that will mean Elfi cannot quite get ahead in terms of economy. HerO's happy to trade here. Good blinks by both sides. 1 sentry almost gets stuck behind. Liquid HerO now has some big decisions on how he wants to transition. He can continue to build probes. I honestly think chrono boosting probes is the best play for HerO at this point in time to continue to extend that economy lead, and in particular to get this 4th geyser up. That will allow him to get things like speed zealots, like Archons, anything that will help him peel away from just Stalkers at this phase.
Okay, here we go again. Oh, nice force fields that time.
Beautiful
excellent,
force fields.
Excellent force fields. Look how close the units lost tab is day 9. 1,293 resources to 1,475 resources lost. Very even in that regard. Armies are also very even. 15 Stalkers, 2 Zealots, and a little bit of a difference in sentries, 5 to 2 there. But other than that, everything is even. Worker count also 43 to 44. Such a close game.
I'm actually surprised that Elfi is so close to HerO. HerO making yet another push, doing a huge set of force fields yet again.
Ooh, Elfi has just stopped. Oh, there we go.
There's the blink up into the main, and
I like this move by Elfi.
This is a big misstep by HerO, I think. This could be very dangerous. He's trying to get these units caught out of position, but instead what's happening is HerO was isolating himself. I think HerO thought he was ahead in the stalker count sometime.
And Elfi is all of a sudden 10 supply up, going to blink down. Oh no, that was a bad blink by Elfi this time, so both these players making a couple of mistakes. Who comes out on top in this fight? It looks like Elfi with 12 stalkers to 9, and HerO is in a full retreat, day 9.
Oh, these poor sentries getting picked off as well. HerO, I am just shocked at the fact that Elfi was able to pull back in this game. Started off with that very floundered 4-gate, wasn't able to do too much with it, and then HerO pushing forward makes the gigantic misstep of trapping himself on the high ground for that full blink duration.
Yeah, Elfi just adding a lot more gateways. HerO going to take up to Colossus, so we got another deviation there. 88 supply for Elfi Taya, 80 for Liquid's HerO. This is such a close game. And my next question is, who wins, Colossus Army or Blink Stalker Army?
You know, God, Elfi going 8 gateways. That is actually insanity. Looks like HerO starting to suspect that maybe there's a proxy pile on there. He does manage to spot it. I would generally put the favor in HerO's court with his Colossus tech play, but only if he can get that range up and get the Colossus count high enough. Going for just a pure gateway army gets slowly weaker and weaker and weaker as the Colossi count gets higher and higher. Man,
the stalker count for Elfi is so high right now. Honestly, day 9, I think if he were to blink on top of that Colossus with his whole army, he might just kill everything. 7, 8 zealots though, that's tough. You don't really want to blink into the meat grinder like that.
Yeah, blinking into zealots is a big danger. A lot of people like to use this weird MMO term, meat shield for zealots. My God, do they do damage when you can get up and close to them. We do see that one Colossus makes itself known, and Elfi gets right the hell out of there.
Yep, 110 supply to 103. Elfi now knowing that the Colossus is in play. We have a warp in on the other side of the map. A couple zealots trying to harass Elfi. But he's on top of it. Saw him, warped in some zealots of his own. 50 probes to 50 probes. Still.
A huge misstep. I do not like this play at all from Elfi. Making himself so vulnerable up on the high ground, losing. Oh no! Oh, miss blink. He blunk into himself again. Elfi with the miss blink.
So uncharacteristic with the bad control there.
Wow.
You know,
Whoopsie doopsie
he's a famously methodical player. He plays very, very slow. I mean, people joke that Elfi puts his feet up on the desk and his keyboard in his lap when he plays. But his control is usually spot on. And right there, it was really, I mean, quite frankly, terrible. And now this game is firmly in favor of HerO, who's got about an even stalker count, more zealots, and a couple colossi on top of it.
Kind of a funky way that we're seeing Elfi play this out. He has 8 gateways, and even though it might feel good for him, that's another way of saying I'm not spending my chrono boost. If you spend your chrono boost as Protoss, it just means you are able to spend your money faster. Meanwhile, come look at Liquid HerO, relatively low on chrono boost. Yeah, there's another chrono boost on that Colossus, and once the Colossus count continues to increase, HerO now has some big windows of opportunity to advance forward. He's continuing to try to poke and prod, but looks like HerO's going to hit long before that Zealot leg speed is done.
Yes, indeed. Elfi realizing that he's in a bit of trouble here. The Colossi are going to make such short work of the Zealots. 2 Colossi, and 20 Stalkers against 21 Stalkers. And oh no, the Zealots are exposed!
Zealots, and he is in a clear pickle, and he immediately loses the Guardian Shield Sentry. We see all the Stalkers trying to blink around. Great blink, but it looks like the Colossus do not quite manage to fall, and the Zealots immediately rip everything apart, and HerO getting a nice win against Elfi.
Yeah, goes out 2-0.
But I will say Game 2 was a lot less clean than Game number 1. I mean, a lot of times you can look at Game number 1 and say, Elfi, you know, maybe shouldn't have let that War Prism sneak in. But in that game, I think that Elfi lost it, and then had it, and then lost it.
Yeah, really, and up until he blinked.
Miss
Blank.
Go on.
He was in an awesome position. He had a much bigger army. Yeah, HerO's tech was a little bit more developed, but I didn't feel like it was so much so that Elfi was out of the game. But then just totally just throwing away Stalkers. He lost like 10 Stalkers for free there. And obviously, you know, HerO's going to capitalize on a moment like that. Just pushes right across the middle of the map. Yeah,
and I really think that HerO does a lot of those basic fundamentals a little bit better. And you even saw how quickly HerO fell apart when he did the miss blink onto the high ground as well. But at the end of all those crazy exchanges, with all the blinking and running up to Elfi's ramp, the one thing that really set HerO ahead is when he pulled back, he already had the Colossus producing, excuse me, he already had the +1 started. He was clearly far down the road, and Elfi was kind of thinking, oh, well, now that I'm safe, I guess I should have a big transition coming up now, right? And that's when he started to add on more gateways and getting those next steps. HerO's transitioning overall was smoother.
Yeah, I feel like that's really bad news for Elfi 2. PvP is probably his better matchup, and now he's got a couple of Zergs he has to deal with. So not the best start to the group for Elfi. HerO goes into his next set up 1-0, so good things for him. And, you know, I'm just eager to see how the rest of it shapes up.
Either way, very clean win from HerO. A 2-0 start, no loss at any point. Will he be able to remain that undefeated player? Has not lost any sets in this entire tournament, so I'm excited to see him continue to do well.
Very
Go
impressive.
HerO. For now, I'm Day 9.
And I'm Mr. Bitter, and we'll be back.